The news, good evening. The Department of Health has introduced stricter measures which will be in place as of midnight Wednesday evening to restrict public movement in the country. The measures will be in place for 3 weeks. As of Thursday, only essential services will be functioning with certain adaptations, and only shops where people can buy groceries and basic commodities will be allowed to open. People are also being asked to stay at home and not venture outside unless absolutely necessary. The Public Health Commissioner, Dr. Jude Gedeon, says the measures are in line with the COVID-19 situation in the country after an 11th person who was not in quarantine or had had contact with the 10 people who have tested positive for the virus had tested positive for COVID-19.
So given that it's a local transmission, but he had opportunities to transmit in the community. So we anticipate that we may be detecting new cases of community transmission happening in the country. Today we did 6 tests. People were having symptoms, they are negative, but given that they were contact, they'll be kept under quarantine and get retested later on. We have done contact tracing. We are collecting all persons who have been in contact with him. Those at high risk are being collected first and are being quarantined. And as we go along today, during the course of tomorrow and maybe later, pick up more people who had been in contact with him and put them into quarantine. So the work is ongoing, and we want the engagement of the public to be on our side as we take new measures to break the chain of transmission.
What are the measures?
And these measures are people who are not in essential services must stay at home. The list of essential services will be published, and you can come out of your home only for essential services, like to go to the bank, to go to the shop, to buy groceries and food. All shops that do not sell groceries and food will be closed for 3 weeks, as of midnight tomorrow, Wednesday, the 8th. So all shops that do not sell groceries and food will be closed. Additionally, there will be checkpoints by police. There will be enforcement by police. We have obtained the engagement of the community development personnel to assist us in the community distancing practices in all the districts.
The Minister responsible for Finance has presented an amended budget for this year to the National Assembly. The budget of over 10 billion rupees is the government's response to handling the economic crisis caused by the coronavirus pandemic. Minister Maurice Louste-Lalande told the National Assembly that the country will inevitably go through a period of recession, but he said this will not be on the level seen in 2008. The minister has assurances that the government does not intend to put restrictions on foreign exchange transactions. The Central Bank of Seychelles will use foreign exchange from the country's international reserves for the unmet demand of recent days. This was approved by the CBS board during an extraordinary meeting held today. This decision has been taken in view of a notable reduction in foreign exchange inflows due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The situation has given rise to instances where demand for foreign exchange has not been fully met in the past week. It is predicted that the situation pertaining to the supply of foreign exchange will persist over an uncertain period. As Seychelles has a free-floating exchange rate regime, CBS expects an adjustment in the exchange rate, which should translate in a reduction in demand for foreign exchange as the economy adapts to this reality. On the occasion of World Health Day today, Seychelles also celebrated this event as Health Workers' Day. The Health Department thus organized a small ceremony this morning at the Red Roof Building in the presence of President Danny Faure, who is also the Minister of Health. high officials and also other representatives and workers of this department. As required by the Health Department, all participants observed social distancing by standing at a distance of 1 meter between comrades. Focusing on nurses and midwives is the theme chosen this year for World Health Day. In her speech for the occasion, the Secretary of State for Health, Ambassador Marie-Pierre Lloyd, noted that today is a special day since it is celebrated in circumstances related to many of the COVID-19 challenges we face. Following her speech, Mrs. Lloyd asked everyone present to applaud the health workers to thank them for the work they are doing. And this request was made by President Danifo last night in his speech. And with this, we end this news summary. Thank you for watching. Have a pleasant evening.